Former shearer and farmer Barry Woods is a dedicated advocate for New Zealand and the role that agriculture has played in its history. He's also knowledgeable and passionate about wool. Over the past few years, Barry has built a rural tourism business based at his Waitomo home. But he has plans to take his message about New Zealand offshore, encouraged by his win in the most innovative hotel concept category at the 2012 Worldwide Hospitality Awards held in Paris.
When I first started this block, it was just under a 10-acre block. It was just a hill and a swamp down below. And I carved out the swamp to create the first self-drive jet sprint course. That was great in the earlier times, but as it grew, I realised I could do better with what I had here, and accommodation was going places. This is the last motel I've done at the present time. Started with a train years ago, then I went out and bought an aeroplane, and then went on to a bit more of a challenge. I built underground with the hobbits, and then I was getting a bit bored and wanted a bit more of a challenge, so I went out and bought a 30-metre patrol boat. We've got 10 units here, and we can sleep up to 45 people, something like that, and present time I want to add on to it again. It's really getting known around the world. Winning the World Award in Paris last year, that was something that was mind-blowing. Cut a long story short, we ended up winning the Innovation Award by the greatest margin in the history of the awards.
Whereabouts are you from? Auckland?
John. Whangarei.
We've got a problem here, folks. For the Northlander, far up north, one of the clue, you both can't pull at once, all right? So you're going to start on his side. You'll be right.
I've created a character, Billy Black, and that gives me the opportunity to actually get away and do other things as well by creating that character. So Billy Black comes on stage and gives the public a history lesson, if you like, a pioneer history lesson, and takes them on through the journey of clearing the land, shearing the sheep. We touch on some of the bush animals that are out there in the bush, and finishes up with really the beef animal of today and that sort of thing. So it's a history story. In the show, I start off, because to farm sheep, you have to clear the land originally. I go right back to the very beginning. And I use photographs like this. This is a local guy actually climbing a tree to cut it with the jigger climb, which New Zealanders, if you said, what's a jigger climb, they wouldn't have a clue. And so I bring all this alive on stage, and it makes sense. Come on, Joe. Come on, Jonah. The animals form a big part of the show, especially, the pioneers. The pig was one of the early animals for meat and that sort of thing. And also, I've got the kuni here, you'll notice. And they were actually, in fact, brought in by the Chinese when they came panning for gold in their early times. So, big part of our history, the kuni.
Yeah, spying on the Aussies. You remember? No, Enoho.
I want to take part of this act with the wool show to America. And I'm training the pig to actually ride on a Harley. So I'm going to have the world's hog on a hog story, because I believe that will be really well received in the States. In the show, we shear a sheep, but it's done in the pioneering fashion with a hand-turned plant. The audience participate all the way through this, and so they have to wind this machine. And during that, I bring out some of the fantastic, or the magic qualities of wool as people think when they see it, and show just what wool can do for them. And it's quite revealing to the public. They have no idea. I never knew this stuff. Here I've travelled the world, I've brought up on a sheep farm. I didn't know that wool took only a litre of oil to make a kilo, whereas synthetic, on the other hand, is a melted bit of synthetic, which I put fire to. It's plastic, really, plastic and oil. It takes 5 litres of oil to make 1 kilo of the equivalent. And I went, this is madness. We should be telling the world about this. So that's about 450 degrees of heat, and that's about as close as you want to get to it. Now, when you get a bit of synthetic, this is synthetic pants they were, but it just shows you just what they end up like. It's just absolutely bursts into flame, and then it just melts. See it dripping, just oil, chemicals, But the thing is that gas, don't sniff it, because two of the most poisonous gases to humans in there. And that's what kills you in a fire, in a house fire, in a building. I say to people, if you're up in a high rise, synthetic carpets, synthetic curtains, you haven't got a show. If you had wool in there, you could walk down the stairs to the bottom if you had wool. Because I'll show you what happens. Well, first of all, before I show you with wool, look at that. That just keeps burning into your gumboot. That just keeps, if that was on your skin, it would burn into you. Just keep going. Now, with wool, here's a bit of Cavalier blend with carpet. Look at that, beautiful, from the 70s. It's reared a couple of families, still in good nick really, but put it in front of the fire here, and look at this, I can roast it, absolutely roast it. Burn that thing. Now look at it, it's black, absolutely burnt to smithereens. We take that away, and watch this, with a couple of rubs of your hand, you can actually bring that carpet back virtually like new. That is pure New Zealand wool at its best, and we should be scouting to the world about it. In fact, I'm going to do something about it. I am going to take this to the world. In fact, I'm going to take it to America and skite about it. Because that, as the Americans tell me, wow, that's magic. That's incredible. In fact, they go further, they go, where do you get this stuff from? And I go, stuff. And that's what's dawned on me, and how it's sort of come about that I have to take this to America, is how on earth do we sell this stuff when the people we're trying to sell it to don't even know what the stuff is called, don't even know what the stuff does. And I thought, wow, imagine if we educated them. And then they started, of course, they're going to buy it, aren't they?
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.